So I just finished with update 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, and I have quite a few things to say. And yeah, in this video we're going to be discussing both update 2.0 and Phantom Liberty, and well, as you might have guessed, this video will be divided into two parts. First, I will be discussing the update 2.0, which is free for everyone who has already Cyberpunk 2077, and then we're going to be discussing what type of features it adds and whether it is worth it to actually pay extra for it or not. So let's not waste your time and just go into the details. So update 2.0 is actually absolutely free for everyone who already owns Cyberpunk 2077. You don't need to pay anything extra, and it adds a bunch of different things that will be including in Phantom Liberty as well, except a few things that are part of Phantom Liberty expansion. But first, let's discuss what it adds to the base game. First thing that it will do is overhaul your perk system. If you're starting from your save game, every perk points will be reset and you can use them in your new perk trees. You have all your main skills still available, but now you have to respec in every skill because every skill now have its own perk trees. And depending how many skill points you have inserted in the perk trees, you're gonna have more or less unlocks available there. It's basically a linear path with the branches that you can choose in order to upgrade the specific part of your build. For example, in the reflex perk tree, you can actually focus more on melee weapons, or you can focus more on the lighter weapons like pistols and submachine guns. Or in other trees, you can focus on hackings, or you can focus on the vehicles, which now has its own perks. And a lot of upgrades that you would be able to obtain through the implants now are part of the perk trees, which for the first time in the game actually allows you to actually choose the role that you want to have and choose an actual build in the game. For the first time, now it's viable. And you have a lot of different options available there. And speaking of implants, because of the perk tree, implants was reworked as well. And with it, the armor system of the game was reworked as well. Now first, let's discuss implants. First thing that happened is that you now have a limited number of implants that you can actually install on your character. And the number is dictated through different perks and also through your character level, meaning that the higher level that you have, more implants you can actually use. Implants are now also upgradable, so we can have a high level implants installed, and every reproduct now has the same implants available, so you don't have to run through different reproducts in order to get the upgrades that you want. Also, implant system now has an addition of an armor system. Armor is no longer tied towards your clothing anymore. Clothing is just for looks and for some additional perks. And armor is now primarily dictated through your implants. So different implants have different implant scores and an armor scores, and more armor it has, the more durable you will become. And this ties into different builds that you can have through this new update. And this is where vehicle system actually ties in as well, because now game has a vehicle combat available. You can not just shoot from your car, you can also install additional weapons to your car, which gives you additional upgrades to perks as well. But whether it will be miniguns or rocket launchers, you can transform your cars into literal powerhouses and mow down a lot of enemies with it. And with an addition of a bunch of different cars, bunch of different clothing, and a bunch of different weapons, game becomes even bigger and more varied than ever before. And one more thing that not a lot of people are actually talking about is the stamina system. Yes, stamina system was overhauled as well. And now stamina is tied not to your melee weapons only, but to your firearms as well. That means that if you shoot continuously for a really long time and drain your stamina, your aim will become much less, accurate. That means that you need to be very careful with every shot that you take. For some, it might be a buzzkill, but for me, to be fair, it was quite fun experience, and I welcome this change. And there is one more thing that was added to the core game, but only if you have a Phantom Liberty expansion, and it's a Radiant Gigs. It's kind of like AI gigs that is made to, give you something to do when everything else is done. I was not a really big fan of this, but it's actually good to have it. I prefer more tailored experiences, but if you want to have someone to shoot and just make credits from it, this is it. And now we're gonna move on to the Phantom Liberty. First thing that I want to talk about is about performance. Well, in a base game, to be fair, performance was pretty great. I did not have any lag, game was running very smoothly, and I enjoyed the experience quite a lot. However, when I got to Dogtown, the new districts from Phantom Liberty expansion, I experienced quite a bit of lag. By no means it was not unplayable, but the frame rate was a bit lower than, 60 or 100 that I was used to. By the way, I'm not playing with RT on, I'm playing actually on AMD GPU, but because Dogtown is quite dense, I experienced some frame drops. By no means it was not severe. The lowest frame rate that I got was actually 40 FPS, but it was not for a really long time and it did not bother me a lot. So yeah, just to let you know. And I'm pretty sure this will be fixed quite soon, but I'm just letting you to know. Now as for expansion itself, let's first talk about the Dogtown, the new edition. To be fair, it did not strike me. Dogtown looks like if Night City was hit by war as well. Everything is crumbling, everything is old, everything is overgrown, the roads are not good, they're slums everywhere, and yeah, it's not a very beautiful place, but it has its charm, especially the stadium part. Again, I was not blown away, but I don't think that devs are trying to blow away someone. It looks quite dense and quite interesting, but it will not be the place that will be engraved in your memory for a really long time. As for the Phantom Liberty story itself, well, as always, CDPR are the masters of the storytelling. The story is great. If you want to play this expansion for the story, well, you're gonna enjoy it quite a lot. The story feels amazing, and from the very beginning to an end, it keeps you on an edge, and it's a great addition to the Cyberpunk story. Of course, I will not be spoiling you anything, even the smallest thing, just letting you know that this transforms Cyberpunk into a spy thriller, and a good one at that. But there is one thing that I did not enjoy, and I would not give it a perfect score, and it's the pacing of the expansion. Well, expansion starts, well, with the blast. It's an amazing intro, and I loved it. But then, suddenly, it grinds to a halt. When Dogtown actually opens to you, for some reason now you have a mandatory waiting period that forces you to go to the world and do something there as well. Well, I don't mind having an option to do that, but forcing? Well, I did like the forcing part. And for that reason, it kind of slows down quite a lot. Yes, it picks up the pace later, but after the first 2 hours it kind of slows quite a lot, and I did not enjoy this grinding halt. I wanted to have this high stakes going through and through without any stopping, but it didn't happen with this one. As for the length and how long this expansion is, well, it will take you around 20 to maybe 30 hours to complete everything in this expansion. So it's quite a sizable expansion. As for the main story, maybe it will take 10-15 hours for you, depending on how fast you go through. Content is not very easy. It's actually a bit challenging. It's not very difficult, but it's a bit challenging to the core game. And you can actually start the expansion anytime you want, even if you haven't completed the main story yet. And actually adds more endings to the game as well. But would I recommend you to get this expansion? Well, I would say yes, but I will need to be very honest with it. I saw other people's reviews and no one actually complained about the performance issues, on a PC at least. I kind of feel like I was the only one who saw these frame rate issues. And for that reason, because I actually saw it myself, I am going to advise you, just in case, to wait a little bit, at least until the hotfixes will be released for the game. And maybe hotfixes will be released before the launch of an expansion. By the way, I'm reviewing this before expansion is launched for everyone. So if you want to get the expansion right away, I'm just letting you know that there is a chance that in Dogtown, you're gonna have a little bit lower frame rate than everywhere else. Again, I did not see any issues anywhere else except for the Dogtown. So take this with a grain of salt. Overall, yes, Phantom Liberty is a great addition, but also 2.0 is an amazing addition as well. And even if you will not get Phantom Liberty just now, you're gonna still enjoy the game quite a lot, and you're gonna have a blast with the core game as well. Well, this should be for today. Thank you for being here with me. Like the video, like, subscribe for more videos like this one. I'm gonna see you in the next one. See ya.